the rap lyrics, and whether you guys are aware of this or not, rap lyrics are now becoming admissible in court. So recently, uh, Maryland state basically judge decided that rap lyrics are going to start being admissible in court, and they basically referenced an artist who essentially committed a crime, recorded a verse to a song over a jail phone, which the song ended up on Instagram. And so, long story short, or long story less long, the court actually took that verse that the artist put out on Instagram and used it against him in court and convicted him. So because of that situation, the state of Maryland. So if you guys are in the state of Maryland, watch. If you're a rapper and you live in the state of Maryland, watch the lyrics you are putting out because you could end up in jail. And I think the biggest conversation about this all is whether or not that ruling is racist or not, and why those same laws do not apply to other genres of music. Like, why are they singling out rap? Why can't it be all music? Why is it just rap? And I think that's the biggest thing. So I want to get your thoughts on this, Q, because I feel like we're heading down a very interesting rabbit hole in the near future if this is not reversed, or if rappers in general don't quite understand the laws that they are now being held against. What are your thoughts on that, man?
So first and foremost, I want to say something. There's about 3 or 4 songs that I refuse to download in my lifetime. Like, absolutely refuse. I thought the songs were pretty good, but I was just like, it's just too much for me. I don't want to put this in my library. I feel devilish putting it on there. One of them is it's actually a whole album. I decided not to download Yeezus just because I was like, as the semi-Christian that I am, I just feel like that's counterproductive uh, to my beliefs, especially at the time. Throat Baby. And then the third one is actually YNW Melly's Murder on My Mind. And the third one, Murder on My Mind, is an unbelievable song. Like, it's the melodies are great. I love the beat, love the rapping that he does. But like, if you listen to the lyrics on the song, he's essentially saying like, I had to murder my friends. And like, he's essentially pretty much talking about how, like, you know, he had to get over it, but then at the same time, it was just so real and so similar to the situation that he's going through in real life right now. And I'm like, personally, I I already told you how I feel about the First Amendment. I think the First Amendment is nonsense. I think for various reasons, but I just feel like there should personally be some type of not quite punishment, but like, it's your words. It's your words. It's your words that you said. Like, you said you did such and such. It's your words. Is it not your words? So like, if somebody is trying to figure something out about you, they just using your own words on you. Now, do I think in the justice system? I don't think the justice system should be listening to lyrics personally. But at the end of the day, it's their words. But then at the same time, Ooch, I'm gonna have to expose both me and you. And I want to see your face when I expose both me and you. Remember when we were 16, 17 years old and we made a song called Making Money? I actually just listened to that song yesterday. Remember that song? We were aspiring rappers. We were aspiring rappers, everyone. And like, we had so much gun talk on that song. It was so, oh my God. One of the lines I used was bullets breeze by you. Not bullets breeze by you, but I said bullets going flying past you like Tom Brady. And I was like, I got 9 millimeters. And you were talking about you're going to put a shell in somebody.
It's shelling somebody's spleen or something like that.
We was
Hey,
talking
man.
that talk back then. So it's like, is it going to be used against me like if a traffic ticket? Like, I don't know. It's to me, it's just not clear. Maybe if I read exactly how they're going to use the lyrics, I can tell you if I'm fine with it. But I do think it's a slippery slope, man. In all seriousness, I think it's a slippery slope. I don't think that it's fair to judge uh something somebody said in music because it's universally known that music is just their form of art. Nobody took like Tom Cruise done killed 19 million people on Mission Impossible. Are we taking his movies, what he did in his movies, as like something that he would do in real life? Are we gonna look back at Tom Cruise's movies and say, you done killed this person on there? You're capable of killing people. Like, in the end of the day, when you talk about art, I don't think that art should ever be used as evidence for anything. So I am flip-flopping right now, and I'm trying to figure out how I
You
feel.
are. You are flip flopping, but you are flip flopping. But let me try to help you out from this standpoint, because I do believe it's dangerous. I do believe what is happening is very potentially problematic, and it's not just about the fact that they are now using rap lyrics in court legally. They're using rap lyrics in court. It's not just about that. It's about the fact that they have singled out rap music in particular. And again, this is how I opened up. I said, if you're gonna open up the rabbit hole and say rap, why don't you just say all music? Why? What about the country people? They're not speaking about real life. What about the R&B people? They're not speaking about. So if I croon that I killed somebody and it's not rap, does that now excoriate? I'm sorry. Does that now excuse me from that? Like, that's where it becomes, I think, problematic and actually racist in that regard. But as you were talking, I wrote down a couple songs from a couple different artists that happened or that put out music over the last couple years that ended up getting in trouble for the music. Or if it wasn't the song that got them in trouble, the songs added fuel to the fire. One is TK. TK, you guys may or may not even know who that is. He's this dude, this young rapper who was from Texas. He was involved in a real life murder. He made a song about it called The Race, about how he had just committed murders and he's on the run. And come to find out, that's actually what the fuck happened. Like, the man was on the run and he said, yo, I just killed somebody in the song. Like, all of that was detailed in the music. Another example, Bobby Shmurda, hot nigga. We all remember how big Bobby Shmurda and Roddy Rebel's wave was back in, what was it, 2014? 2013, 2014. And by the way, Roddy Rebel is out of jail now. And supposedly Bobby Shmurda is on his way out of jail. So shout out to them. I actually believe they're gonna like take over, because whatever energy that they captured in that moment back then 7 years ago, I think people have been kind of waiting, and it's cool to see the Pop Smoke wave of the Brooklyn drill wave come out, and it just feels like that momentum is going to carry over to them. But neither here nor there. Bobby Shmurda is another guy talking about real life situations in his music, ended up being used against him in court. You brought up another one, YNW Melly. You know, it sucks that rap is being targeted like this, but I truly believe it is a product of, I think, what rappers are doing to the rap community. We talked about this a little bit on the last episode, and it's the fact that rappers are holding other rappers accountable for being real. You got to be a real one. You got to be this person that commits real, or just not even commits crimes, but like somebody who is about that life that you're talking about. And if you're not, you're fake. So when you give that Tom Cruise example and you say, well, what about the fact that he was killing all these people in these movies? Well, that's what the freak I've been advocating for in rap. Like, why isn't rap considered performative? Why isn't it, if I talk about guns and I talk about killing, why can't it just be, I'm talking about a concept? I'm talking about a fake scenario. Yeah, I may be a part of that community, but it doesn't mean it had to be me. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I think it's a product of, I firmly believe that situation of how rap is now being admissible in court is a product of rappers only calling for other rappers to be real, and that includes crimes being committed, unfortunately. So until that gets fixed, until rappers are now not holding other rappers accountable for not being real and not and basically not living a life that they maybe haven't lived, I don't think I only see bad things happening as a result of this law that was basically passed in Maryland. Like I really feel like it's going to be a domino effect in a lot of states.
I mean, I think like kind of what I was saying, art should never be regulated. I mean, I'm somebody that I took an art history class, believe it or not. Art history. I actually took two. I took art history 101 and I took art history 102. One
It
of
was a
my
dope class. Dope class. I
favorite
took it to.
classes. I loved it. That's probably my favorite class in college. And what they did was they went through different eras of art, uh, dating back all the way to like the 1600s, like dating back to Stonehenges and things of that nature. And there were certain eras where pictures were being painted of like massacres, and pictures were being painted of like things that may or may not have happened. The devil versus God, like, you know, certain things that certain people would be like, whoa, like, why are you painting this? You know, like, may even be offended by. And I think at the same time, it's like that's the beauty of art, is that people can kind of interpret how they see something, interpret in this fictional world that they get to live in, uh, how things are put together. And so if you start talking about regulating rap music, which is essentially art, people forget that that's art. You're opening up a can of worms that I don't think you want to, because art is something you never want to regulate. Point blank, period.
And that is the problem. That is the problem. The law now does not consider rap music art. They consider it real life.
Exactly.
But but what I'm saying is that is the picture that rappers have been trying to paint.
Exactly.
They've been telling you is real life. They've been telling us, yo, you better be real. Everything you talk about better be real life. But the moment y'all start talking that real life shit, and the law basically comes out and says, oh, whoa, oh, y'all are really just telling us y'all business? Oh, well, we're gonna start prosecuting you. I feel like it's a product of the community, the culture, the gang culture, the violent culture that has infiltrated rap music over the years. It's a product of it, and yes, it's fucked up that the law is doing that. But I do feel like they're getting this ammunition from somewhere, and it ain't out the blue. Better believe niggas is telling their real life business on these tracks and thinking they can get away with it.
Of course. Of course.
They're telling their real life tracks.
I
Real
mean,
life.
they're
So,
unfortunately they're telling their truths, and it's just a matter of, like, should it be used in court? I mean, but they're just telling the truth, right? Just like anybody else, like in any other industry, tell their truths in unique ways. Like, I think one of the one of the sickest laws I've ever heard is uh after you have been convicted of a crime, you cannot be convicted of that. You're done. There's no. I think it's called double jeopardy. We used to always talk about this in college, right? Double jeopardy,
correct.
where you can't be convicted twice. So, like, for instance, OJ right now, right? OJ can come out with a book saying, "I killed such and such,
Which he
so and
did.
so," which
Which
he
he
did.
did.
So if I did it, and you can't do anything about it because he's already been tried not guilty. And it's like, the reason I bring that up is because Emmett Till, that's what happened to Emmett Till. Emmett Till was killed by these crazy white people, and those crazy white people went to court and they were found not guilty. A couple months later, a couple years later, they came out with a book talking about how they killed him. They got vivid, they got descriptive, and nothing happened. So it's, when you're talking about law and when you're talking about these issues in terms of using real life content and things like this, it to me, it's a slippery slope, and these are laws that just, in my opinion, is just a dumpster fire and need to be refigured out. Personally,
I agree, and that's a good stopping point. You know, for y'all out there that know what's going on, let us know your thoughts. Do you think it's racist? Do you think that it's fair game? Do you think rappers are doing it to themselves? I mean, what are your thoughts? We want to know what you guys think on social media and in general. Get in touch with us. On that note, we are going to
I do
come
got a
back,
question, by the way. I do
bro.
got a
Bro,
question.
how you gonna interrupt my spiel? But go ahead, go ahead.
I do got a question. So if a
Go
rapper says, "I didn't do it," do they take that into consideration? If a rapper said, "Oh, I did so much community service," and he puts it on a rap record, do they going to take that into consideration?
Uh, could you by any chance be talking about Tory Lanez?
No, actually, that's a good point. I wasn't, but hey, what
He
if Tory
denied
Lanez actually tells you what happened on the record? Like, or Megan Thee Stallion, which Megan Thee Stallion is talking, right? She's talking on
it.
records.
It's a good point.
Is it
I don't
real?
know.
Do we not listen to it?
Look, man, you see the hypocrisy and just the they don't want to hear that though. They don't want to hear that. They don't. They only care when you're guilty. They don't care when you're not guilty. Just just advice for all these other artists who go on platforms like Vlad and essentially tell their own business. I think that's the biggest thing. If you are somebody who commits crimes, do not put it on record of any format, whether it's a song, whether it's a movie, whether it's an interview, whether it's a podcast. I don't care what it is because you are being watched.
Even learn from your boy Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic over here making music videos, shooting Carol Baskins. They got his ass. They got his ass.
See? Be smart, guys. Anyway, let's take a break and we'll be right back with some indie music reviews. How about
That's
that?
true. They got Joe Exotic, man. Man, free my jigger, Joe Exotic.